and that's totally fine. I'll take their questions at that time. So let's talk about CCNA and why it is still relevant in 2025, where we have all the fancy AI tools, where we have all the nice, automation techniques. People are thinking that, this certification isn't worth anything right now because AI will eventually replace the network engineers. But I'm here to tell you that it is not going to happen, because even though you're going to have automation at the top, at your base, you still need traditional networking, and traditional networking is being taken care of by, you know, certifications like CCNA. Okay. So, CCNA, why CCNA? Because it's one of the most popular certifications uh, related to computer networking. Well, I'm not going to tell you that it is better than other vendor certifications, but it is highly regarded and valued by professionals in the industry. Why so? Because we have a lot of vendors right now. We have Cisco, we have Juniper, we have Huawei, everyone, or all of those vendors have their own certifications, but since the very beginning, Cisco has been an industry leader, right? And what they have done with their certification is that they have reiterated, their courseware every time. So I remember the certification that I took was Cisco 200125. At that time, there were different tracks for CCNA. So let me tell you, at that time, you had just the regular routing and switching, R&S. You also had wireless. You had security. And you also had CCNA voice, right? So at that time, if you had to get CCNA certified, you had to take all these different certifications, which was kind of problematic because then you would be spending around 1 lakh rupees or around 1,000 US dollars. So what they did is they actually revamped their whole certification back in 2020, and now it is called 200301. So, and it covers everything, but not in depth. It covers everything in breadth, which means you will have routing and switching here, you will have wireless, you will have components of voice, you will have components of security and automation as well, right? So the current version, which we are going to, cover in this course, is going to be the second version, right? Because in V1, uh, everything was in the syllabus, but then few things were still missing, right? So now they have added all the latest components in the syllabus and some AI related stuff as well. All right. There are other certifications too. Like I mentioned, you've got JNCIA from Juniper, you have Huawei Certified Network Associate, and then you also have CompTIA Network Plus, which is vendor agnostic. So what do you mean by vendor agnostic? Vendor agnostic means that it is not covering any specific vendor's material. It is just teaching you all the concepts like IPv6, IP, how routing occurs. But then what happens when you work in the industry? You work on a specific piece of hardware. For example, when you join a company, you will be working with Cisco devices, right? Or you will be working with Juniper devices. And each device has a specific mode of operation. I'm going to, in a few minutes, show you how Cisco CSI looks like. And from there, you'll understand how these vendors are different from each other. In our course, we're also going to discuss if in an organization you're working with multiple vendors, uh, how do you connect them? Are there any protocols that you can use in order to connect them together, or are there specific vendor protocols? So we'll also have a chat about that. And meanwhile, if anyone has any questions, you can throw them in the chat box or, unmute yourself and let me know. I'm more than happy to answer them right away. Okay, so why consider CCNA? I've already covered most of these points in my previous slide. First of all, industry standard. Even though we have multiple vendors in the networking industry, Cisco is still considered the gold standard. Its certifications are still considered the gold standard, right? So it totally makes sense to, go through it. Yes, Tanveer, if you want to unmute, you can let me know if you have a question.
Hey, hi.
Hey,
I can't see your screen properly. Will you zoom the screen little bit, or will you make the screen little
Yeah,
bit
just a
larger?
minute.
is it not visible properly?
Yeah, it looks very small for me. The letters and all very small for me.
What about now?
Yeah, it is good now. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, Tanveer.
Yeah, I have a question, sir. The question is that the question is
Mm-hmm.
that actually is my personal career guidance question, sir. Actually, I'm completed my B in 2014, sir. 1-4.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
After that, I have worked for BPO and sales for near about 7.5 years till now,
Right.
and I'm approximately going to complete my age 38 in 2000 in December, coming
Okay.
December. So if I've already enrolled in networking. If I'll start with the core studies, would I be able to land with the job, sir? That was my question.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you have different types or of experience altogether, right? So you said where were you working before this?
Before this, I was working for Amazon, Airtel, Tata Motors.
Okay,
Sorry
perfect.
to
So you
work.
you 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 do have some IT experience, right? Not
No,
direct,
no,
but you
not
do
IT
have
actually.
some indirect IT experience, I'm saying.
Yeah, it was a BPO and sales, customer support.
Yeah, makes sense. So if you take CCNA, well, I've had people take CCNA, in their 50s as well, and it worked out pretty well for them. See, it's a beginner-based certification. It is going to cover everything from scratch, and it opens a lot of avenues or career opportunities for you. For example, after taking CCNA, you might realize that, traditional hardcore networking isn't for you. You want to move into cloud because, they used to say that cloud is the future, but right now cloud is the present. Everyone is on cloud, right? So after CCNA, definitely 100% career opportunities will open for you. It's just that, you need to go through a lot of hands-on labs. You need to go through a lot of, interview-based questions so that you can face the interviews. Are you getting my point? And after this, consider CCNA as a launch pad for you. So after this, you can take a cloud-based certification or a cybersecurity-based certification. So a lot of options will open for you. And like I said, our course is not only going to cover theoretical material, it's going to cover labs, and it is also going to help you go through, different scenarios that you might face in an interview. So for sure, it will help you land a job in networking.
I have a question, sir.
Hmm.
My age is completed. My age will complete 38 in December, and actually
Hmm.
I have enrolled some 5 months back, but due to some personal reason, I was unable to start. But
Hmm.
I'm going to possibly going to start by coming batch in September.
Hmm.
So I was thinking that, and I have took CCNA, MCSA, and AWS.
Right.
So if I complete CCNA, would I be able to get a job in the industry because you are better? You might be better aware. You all might be better aware about that, or it will be the waste of time for me for do-
No,
doing
no,
study.
no, no. Why would it be a waste of time? Because everyone starts with CCNA. So the phase one program that we have, it covers three core, technologies or three core subjects: CCNA, MCSA, and AWS, right? Which is the need of the hour, for the IT industry for beginners, right? So if you start with CCNA, you can take others parallelly, other courses parallelly. If you don't want to, you can finish CCNA, start applying for jobs, and by the time you have completed the other two courses, you will have a better resume at that time. So yeah, for sure, I'm letting you know that 100% after CCNA, you can start applying for jobs. I'm not going to say that 100% you will get a job because it depends on your skills as well. So how much you have retained, how much you have practiced, and how confident are you after completing CCNA. So
One,
that's what I would say.
thank you, sir. Thanks for your support.
Yeah.
People say me that still you are a fresher. You will be treated as a fresher.
Yep.
You have no experience in IT domain till now. You have
Hmm.
worked in BPO and sales, and your age is 30 years. So you won't be able
Hmm.
to get a job in the IT industry now because they have the age restriction in India. They see me in
Not
that way.
really. Not really. So what we can do, Tanveer, is once I've completed my presentation in the session itself, I can take all the questions and I'll take your question and I'll have a chat with you in depth if that's okay. All right.
Okay, your good name, sir?
My name is Adhirath, so I'll have a chat with you right away after I've completed my presentation. Okay.
Sure, sure.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so coming back, right, so I was talking about why CCNA is still relevant, and it was a good question put forward by Tanveer. So for those of you who think that, you're starting CCNA right now in 2025, would it even help you? Like I said, it goes through multiple iterations as a certification. So it's covering almost all the materials. So like I said, don't consider it as the only certification that you will be taking in your IT career. Consider this as the launch pad. So after this, when you move forward, you have different options available to you, right? If you want to take a certification like AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner, or if you want to go with CEH, the base knowledge or the foundation will come from CCNA, right? Because it is covering almost everything. Then it's like unlike other certifications, which are mostly going to cover theoretical material, this one right here, CCNA, is completely hands-on because in a few minutes, I'm going to also walk you through how the exam is. Okay. So in the exam, you will have a combination of both. You will have practical labs. I'm also going to walk you through a lab today so that you better understand what will be covered in the course itself, and then obviously the MCQs. Okay. All right. So let's take a look. Where is my screen? Yeah. So let's take a look what is in the syllabus for CCNA. Now, some of the materials that are added in this slide set have been added by us as the networking team, but the other material that you will see is from Cisco. So we decided to add a few sections so that you get a better understanding of the overall subject. Because when you start CCNA, right, Cisco assumes that you have the basic knowledge of what IP
No.
addresses are, what the models are, and everything else. Yes, Sindhu, do you have a question?
Yeah, still, so I'm so sorry. Still, I can't see the slides properly. It's very
Have you joined from a phone or your laptop?
my laptop.
Oh, because the thing is, it's fully maximized, and I don't know. What about others? Can others see my screen properly, or is it not visible?
शादी
What
की
about others?
witness हो
Is it
सही
visible,
तो नहीं यहाँ
Sagar?
पे
Okay, so what about this now? Madhu?
Yeah, it looks good now.
Okay. Yeah, so all right, so I figured out. So if you're joined from your laptop, there should be an option at the bottom which would tell you to zoom in at 100%. Maybe it is zoomed out a little bit, and that is why the screen is very small in your case.
Okay, I will try to figure it
Okay.
out.
So there is an option called zoom to fit. If you can try that, that would work. Okay. So
Okay,
I'm just
sure.
going to
Thank you.
I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. Yeah,
Or fit to
because this
window
is
would be fine. Yeah.
yeah, so this is 100%. So I hope this is fine for everyone. Okay, so like I mentioned, some material has been added by us. Some material is, officially prescribed by Cisco. And what is that? So we are going to first cover network fundamentals. All right. So does anyone know about the basic models that are used for computer networking? You might have studied this in your undergrad studies, or you might have just heard of them. Anyone aware of the two basic models that are used for computer networking? Has anyone heard of OSI?
Yeah, I do.
Yes,
Okay,
OSI
so
model.
Open system interconnection.
yeah, any can you briefly describe what it is about? Like, what does it do?
Um, I completed my graduation in 2013. I didn't remember exactly the concepts, but I know I have studied all this. If I
Okay,
recall
yeah,
that, yeah,
yeah, I'll talk about it. No worries.
So
yeah.
I think there are 7 layers.
Uh-huh.
This there are I think 7 or 9 layers in OSI model.
Okay.
Based on this is the foundation or base. Uh, because I did in 2002 or not yet remember, but I'm just trying to recall some file system transport or sorry, not remember.
No, no, that's okay. You briefly described all these concepts. Yeah, that's fine. So yes, all these things come under OSI model. Let me tell all of you why it was introduced. So basically, when computer networking was introduced to the world, every country had their own way of using it, right? So there was no standardization. If there is no standardization, what happens is that communication won't be consistent, or so in order to take care of that, there is an organization called ISO, right? So they introduced this model or this standard known as OSI. It has 7 layers, like you mentioned, and in those 7 layers, you will discuss or you will get to see how information flows. Okay. So information will change its format layer wise. That is what is described in the OSI model. The problem was that it was too big. It wasn't it wasn't easy for, people to understand. So what they did is that they made a compact version of it, which is known as TCP/IP. All right. So these are the two main models, very famous, very popular. But the problem is that these two models are extremely theoretical. So if you are a network engineer starting your career, this will help you retain the concepts, right? But when it comes to hands-on work related to networking, they did not cover anything. So at that time, a new model or a project was created. I don't know if anyone has heard of it. You might have. It's called 802. Has anyone heard of 802 project? So
No,
this is the project where major protocols were introduced. So you use Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi's actual formal technical name is 802.11. It came from this project. The cables that we work with, Ethernet, fiber, so they came from a format known as 802.3. All right. So this is the project which helped the vendors, and it also helped the network engineers to actually figure out what's going on in the world of networking. So I actually consider this one the most important because here you will get to learn hands-on skills. Okay. Then in the networking fundamentals section, we are also going to cover IP addressing. So we have two types of IP addresses, IPv4, IPv6. Uh, at the very basic level, they're easy to understand, but then there's a lot going on with these addresses. There's something called NAT, there is something called subnetting, where we have to try to save addresses by breaking them down. So we are also going to understand that. So this portion is not covered by CCNA officially or Cisco officially, but we are going to cover this. We are going to spend around 10 to 15 hours on this. So if you are a complete beginner, you don't have any IT experience, you don't have a computer science undergrad degree, that is totally fine, right? Because this specific section is going to be comprehensive. And the way I have taught this in the past, I basically read the room. So if the participants do not have any foundational knowledge, that is totally fine. I will spend, if the need arises, I will also spend more hours to make sure that everyone has understood the foundational networking completely. Once everyone is on the same page after doing some labs, after taking some quizzes, then we'll start the official CCNA syllabus, and it will start from network access. So basically, when we talk about networking, there are two terms. There is something called intra, and there is something called inter. Can anyone tell me the difference between these two terms, intra and inter? Don't worry if your answer is wrong, just try. What do you think the difference is between intra networking and inter networking?
Maybe intra means connection between the two PCs or servers outside. Inter means interconnected within a specified space, like small space, like that.
Yeah, so it's
Intra,
actually the other way
wi-
around. Yes, Mohan.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
within a house, small location, and
Mm-hmm.
wider in the wider one city to another cities, one countries to another countries, we will
Mm-hmm.
use the inter. That
Okay.
stands for internet, if I'm not.
Yeah, so basically when we talk about intra networking, intra is what happens within your network. Okay, so just a sec. I'm actually going to mute the participants because there is some background noise. So, and then I'll let you unmute yourselves after that. Okay, let me first complete this. Yeah, so talking about these two terms, intra versus inter. So you have a network where you will have your devices, not just the devices that you use. You will also have some networking devices like switches and routers. So whenever communication happens within the network, it is known as intra networking. And when it happens outside your network, like Mohit mentioned, one PC in one country trying to talk to another PC in another country. And it is not just about different countries, it can be different cities, it can be even different houses, where people are talking to each other. So that is known as internetworking. Now, intra-networking is taken care of by a device known as a switch. Okay, and this is how a switch looks like. This is the logical representation of your switch. Okay, and this right here is the logical representation of your router. So whenever communication happens within the network, it is taken care of by your switch. And whenever connection or connectivity or communication happens outside the network, one device in one network trying to talk to another device in another network, that is taken care of by a router. Okay, so if we are talking to each other right now, that is happening through our routers, because all of us are in our own homes. We might be connected to mobile data or to Wi-Fi. All of us are spread globally, right? We're not in one location. We are scattered all across the world and we're trying to talk to each other. This is happening through routers. Okay. So these are the two main concepts of CCNA, right? CCNA is actually built on these two concepts. So you have network access where you will study what happens with a switch. How do you configure it? What kind of protocols are you going to configure on your switch? Okay. What kind of technologies exist within the network. So we will study the basic switching concepts. We will study what VLANs are. For redundancy, we'll study STP. If we have to connect two switches with multiple cables and increase our bandwidth, then we'll study ether channels. So a lot of stuff is going to be discussed in network access, and a lot of questions, actually 30 to 40% of the CCNA exam is built on network access, this specific section. All right. After that, you have IP connectivity. So IP connectivity is about using routers. How do you configure your routers? How can you configure static routing on them? How do you configure dynamic routing on them? Uh, so what's the main difference between static and dynamic routing? Static is where you as a network engineer will cover or will configure everything manually. Now, when the number of networks increase, obviously it's going to be impossible for you to configure everything. So in that case, you have something known as dynamic routing. So look at it like this. If there's a store nearby your house, you can easily go there without using Google Maps. But if a store or if a mall is, let's say 20 to 30 kilometers away from your place, obviously you will use Google Maps to find your path. So it works like that. So that is how static and dynamic routing would work on your routers. Let me give you the ability to unmute yourselves. If anyone has any questions related to what I've just talked about, you can ask me, and I'll anyways cover this in our course. Any questions related to what I just talked about, guys and girls?
Yeah, I have one question here for the
Sure.
network fundamentals. So, understanding point of view, whatever we are listening, it is fine. But
Mm-hmm.
post this class, do we
Mm-hmm.
receive any material or something else so then we can note it down in our notepad and we'll for the revision point of view?
Great question. So I have something called CCNA notes that I created, and you have notes for every topic. For example, if we are going to cover this topic known as decimal and binary, you're going to get notes for this. So these are just the notes. Then along with these notes, you also have something called, let me show you, the slide sets, right? So the 802 project, then you have OSI model. So everything is going to be provided to you. Don't worry. And these are just the theoretical materials. Then along with the theoretical materials, I also have the CCNA labs. So let's say we are working on a specific protocol like RIP, which is Routing Information Protocol. So for this, you will be provided the activity files, which will run on a specific software known as Packet Tracer. That is the official Cisco's simulation tool. So all you'd have to do is just click on this file. This tool will open up, considering you already have this on your machine. And there you go. This is a topology where you have some routers and some switches. So what you have to do is you have to configure them. And how will you know that everything has been configured properly? You will run some tests, and at the end, you will be able to see the results as well. So these are the labs that we'll cover in the class. And along with this, you will also be getting, let me show you, the official labs from Cisco. Okay. So somewhere around 70 to 75 labs, actually more than that, which will help you get hands-on experience, and all of my notes along with the slide sets. That is what you'll be getting. I hope that answers your question, Mohit.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I have
Mm.
one more question. I have total year of experience about 20 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I started my career as a field maintenance engineer. Where I have to
Mm-hmm.
work in a various locations and
Mm-hmm.
multiple things like that network, Windows, Sun Solaris, all were covered. All are
Mm-hmm.
supported by me. But later on, in the year 2004, I started. I think later on,
Mm-hmm.
I switched my technology as a IBM AS400. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you must have heard about this the Middle East servers. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and over there, I approximate on 15 years I was working as a IBM AS400. Then 21, I have switched my career as a project manager. project manager,
Okay.
technical project manager. And
Right.
now I would be the SDM and reach to the Euro for taking care of one of my accounts. And
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that as given Meraki solution, I searched something from the Google and presented as a proposal, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I thought, okay, let me recall my memory to understand the network when I will go for a budget point of view, or we will negotiate with the customer, so that
Mm-hmm.
knowledge should be in place, correct?
Right.
Right? So
Yep.
if I will argue with someone, if I will argue for the cost point of view with you, then I will uh, mm, I will do it in a very strong point, using very strong point if I'm not. So
Yep.
there's the purpose I have, because I don't want to be sit on the laptop and do the configuration kind of thing. But I want to be understand what is the CCNA and where the technology day by day is going and moving. Because nowadays
Right.
it's moving from MPLS to SD-WAN Meraki solution, which is very
Exactly.
cheap, very cheap as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And customer is also thinking about this Meraki SD-WAN solution.
Right.
So technology is growing day by day, and if we will not think about that, so just want to conclude that one. Is my understanding or my decision is good to join this course for a long run? I'm not
Yep.
talking. I will not stop here in a CCNA. Later on,
Mm-hmm.
there till cybersecurity as well. So
Yep.
all will cover, and my knowledge will be. I will use this knowledge in our skills in our future deliverables as
Yep. Yep. So
well.
let me answer that question for you. Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, what happens is, as a company, I would tell my customer, you're my customer. I would tell you definitely, yeah, you're making a great decision, because obviously, if you enroll with us, we'll make money. But keeping that aside, see, you already have years and years of experience, but now you're not on the technical side. You're more on the managerial side. You're more on the decision making side. So, and you put that point correctly, where technology is changing day by day. We started with Cisco Catalyst series, right? And now what do we have? We have Meraki, we have other series of Cisco devices coming up, right?
Yes. Yes.
Which have all the fancy features. You have all the AI based capabilities in them. So this specific version of CCNA is fully updated, and it is going to cover everything that is going on in the modern era of networking, which means that it will not only cover traditional networking, but also bits and pieces of automation and SD-WAN. Like I said, not full SD-WAN, but bits and pieces, so that you get an idea of, where you want to go forward. So once you complete CCNA, and I've mentioned this when I started the presentation today, don't consider CCNA as the only certification that you'll be taking. Consider this as a launch pad, because if you consider this as a launch pad, you will have a lot to look forward to. For example, if you want to know more about APIs, if you want to know more about Cisco DNA Center, you can then
Mm.
take individual certifications for those technologies. If you want to pivot to cloud after this, CCNA will also help you do that. For example,
Correct.
let's say after this, maybe you get a project where you're working with clients and they want you to set up AWS for them, or you want to use AWS for them. So if you understand everything properly here, then at the time when you're working with them with the AWS technologies, and let's say there's a project related to EC2 instances, and you have to set up security rules within their VPCs, which are their networks, you will have a better understanding. And when you have to, like you mentioned earlier, when you need to have a discussion, you will have the current and updated knowledge, which will help you make the right decision, right? And it will also help you make cost-effective decisions. So 100%, uh, the decision that you're taking is right. And it's not just you who's taking this course to refresh your knowledge. In almost our in almost every batch, we get 1 to 2 people who have years and years of experience. They already know the basics, but the reason why they are taking this course is so that they can refresh their knowledge with the current material. They would know, and I'm pretty sure that when we'll start the course, you will know how to subnet IP addresses. But what about all the new features related to WLCs? You might be aware, you might not be aware. So with that, you will be updating, your information. So
Correct. I
yeah.
read the book in year 2002 when I pursued the exam for this networking, right?
Hmm.
After that, I
Yeah.
didn't open that networking.
Yeah, and a lot has changed. I took my CCNA in 2017, right? Right now
Yeah,
in 2025, almost everything has changed. At that time,
yes.
the certification that I took was R&S, routing and switching. Now there is a lot of other material being covered in this certification. So yeah, this Cisco keeps on updating their material from every 2 to 3 years.
And we have to update ourselves as well to
Exactly.
survive in the market.
Exactly. So you
Correct.
can either take the same certification, you can get yourself recertified, or you can go on to the other certifications, higher level certifications like the professional level or expert level, so
Mm.
that you have a greater portfolio than the others.
Correct.
All right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
giving some time here. Thank you.
Yeah. No worries.
So, hi. How
Yeah.
long
Hey,
it
Sidhu.
takes to, yeah, sorry. How long it takes to complete the entire course?
Okay, so we'll start next week, Saturday, and we will be able to cover everything by the end of November. So all of our classes, well, each class would be 1.5 to 2 hours long, right?
Okay.
And we will
Okay.
be able to complete everything by November for sure, because that's the deadline that I've set. So if I think that some concepts are still not clear, then I might take some extra classes, but still the hard deadline is to complete it by the end of November or the first week of December anyways.
Okay. So we will receive the recordings too, along with the other materials, notes and all.
Yeah, so there will be a portal that is going to be set up for you, and you will be logging into that portal. There will be a Zoom link. There will be
Mhm.
all the videos will be there, right? And
Okay.
so right now, Zoom has a really cool feature where it transcribes the meeting for you. So there's a new feature in Zoom called the Zoom AI Companion. So whatever I'm going to teach, it is going to create a really comprehensive summary of that, and it will be
Okay.
shared with you after the session, because the recording is made available to all the participants the next day. Because what happens is the recordings go to our server, they are processed, then finally HD videos will be given to you. Meanwhile, if you want to revise anything that was covered in the session, for that the Zoom AI Companion summary will be available to you right away after the session. So you can use that to revise previous day's material.
Okay. So after each training, how many hours I need to spend for studying all these concepts?
So the course will be 60 hours long, right? At least, because if I try to cover everything earlier than that, then it would be just scratching the surface, and I don't think that would be beneficial for all of you. So 60 hours is going to be the session duration or the course duration, but along
Mm-hmm.
with that, every session I give 2 to 3 labs. Well,
Mm-hmm.
basically I share all the labs at the beginning, and then it is up to you how much time you want to dedicate to it. So 60 hours of instruction with 50 to 60 hours of self study would be more than enough to get
Okay.
yourself certified, right? And then obviously if you want to do a deeper dive, then I have some more labs that you can take up, which will even enhance your understanding of the concepts.
Yeah, I'm ready to learn. Actually, I'm attending from United States. So
Mhm.
for applying for the exam, do I need to apply from here or like from India I need to do that?
No, no, no. So if you're in the States, I'm in Canada. So here you can take the exam at the comfort of your own place, right? You can take it
Okay.
from your home, or there are Pearson View centers in the nearby universities, right? So if there's a major university or a college near your home, then you can even take the exam there.
Okay. And I have one more question. Actually, I worked as a networks engineer from 2015 to 2017. After then, I moved to United States. After then, I didn't apply for any jobs because I didn't get my EAD work permit. I just got my work permit. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't work for all these years. It's a red flag for me. That's why I started the CCNA so that I will recall all the concepts. So
Mm-hmm.
if I do the CCNA now, am I able to get the job now in the same field?
Yes. So like I said, this is the same question that Tanveer asked. So yeah, so because you're starting after a very long time, you
Hmm.
will still be considered as a fresher or a beginner, right? So I'm
Yeah.
not going to say that it will be a piece of cake, nor would I say that, it's going to be very difficult. It's somewhere in the middle. You just have to keep on applying, and this is for all of you, not just Indu. You can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can share your resume with me here at Networkings. We also have, we also provide services. Well, they're not going to cost you anything, where we can take a look
Mhm.
at your resume, let if it's refined enough or not. We can share some pointers with you, and you can always let me know, what you need. So I can, like I said, I'm not going to guarantee, because
Mhm.
guaranteeing would be bit of an overselling. But I
Mhm.
can let you know that we can definitely help you with that, to make sure that you're confident enough to to go through the interviews and even get a job. So if you go through this seriously, hopefully by the end of December or January, you can start appearing for interviews, and hopefully after that you can easily get a job. That's what I would say.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, I have one more question. So just the CCNA is enough, or do I need to do the CCNP for getting into the jobs?
No, no, for see, beginner level certification, CCN is a beginner level certification, and if you want to get started, if you want to, start your career, CCNA is enough. You will
Okay.
go through CCNP or an automation related certification from Cisco after an
Mhm.
year or two, right?
Okay.
Because every C certification is basically an investment, right? Or a course that you're going to take with me is an investment. So you should
Yeah.
first at least get an ROI, return on investment, for this specific course, and after that go with another one,
Sure. Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to take everything in one go. It doesn't make sense, because and this is for all of you, if you take everything in one go, it will be hard for you to retain all the material from those three courses. Take one course completely, right? Finish it, try to apply for jobs, see what the responses are, and then move on to the next one, right? So
Okay.
that would be my answer here.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have
Ashok
one
here.
more question. Can I ask one question?
So can I let Ashok ask a question, and then I can get back to you,
Yeah,
Mohit?
Yeah,
sure, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Hi.
Yes, Ashok.
And yeah, coming to the lab session, it's all web application, right? We can access through the web, or do we need to download any software for that?
Great question. So there are two tools that we're going to use. There is one called EveNG. So EveNG is basically an emulator, which is a web application. So the credentials for EveNG will be provided to you by Networkings. These are our own labs that we host on our servers, on our ESXi VMware servers. All right. And
Okay.
they will be included with your course, and for your own practice and for most of the labs that we are going to take up in our course, they will be, we will work on those labs through this tool that I was showing you earlier. So if I go back, there is this tool known as Packet Tracer. It is completely free of cost. All you need is a free Cisco account to create your credentials and download this tool. So this is a very simple tool, very easy to work with. You don't need additional setup. All you need to do is just go here. Everything will be available to you. So these are switches, and it works really nice. So you just drag and drop your tools, and then if you click on them, go to CLI. Right now, it might seem overwhelming with everything that's going on, but when we go through this our course, you'll get to understand how this tool actually works. So this is the free tool, and the lab files that I have available, they will run on this specific tool.
Okay. Do you guide for the installation, or
Oh
is there
yeah, yeah.
any
So
note?
No, no, no. I will be discussing that in the next class. Right now, I'm just
Okay.
covering what the certification is all about. In the next class,
Oh,
we'll start with the basics of networking. And before I do that, I will help everyone install Packet Tracer, the tool.
okay. And one more thing, and the classes are on Saturdays and Sundays only, right?
Saturdays and Sundays, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep. So one more point, Mohit, and then I'll take your question. I'll just cover this slide. All right. And I'll
Okay.
then take your. Yeah. So like I said, after your routing and switching and networking fundamentals, then we have IP services, which will cover the major services in networking, like how do IP addresses get assigned to your devices automatically? How do private addresses talk to public addresses? If you want to apply some security related techniques, how would you do that? So that's going to be covered in IP services. And then we are going to talk about security, and finally automation and programmability. This right here is another important section in the course because it is going to talk about automation, right? So most of the traditional networking is based on you as a network engineer configuring everything manually. But right now, because automation is everywhere, AI is everywhere, so obviously we should apply that to networking as well. So in this section, we will learn how we can use all the latest tools like Cisco DNA Center, Ansible, and Puppet to write our own scripts. Okay. So CCNA doesn't require any programming knowledge, right? You will learn commands, basic commands. Commands are not scripts. Scripts are small pieces of code that you will write in order to reduce the efforts that you will be putting in. Okay, so that portion will be discussed at the end. Okay, it will just be an intro of how you can use these scripts to reduce your workload. And after that, if you think that automation is something that you want to go with, then there are specific Cisco automation related certifications as well. All right, so this is the overall syllabus of the course. Right now, it might seem overwhelming, or you might think, hey, is that the course itself? Well, each and every service will have its own class. For example, if we'll talk about NAT itself is going to have 2 to 3 classes where I'm going to talk about NAT, static NAT, dynamic NAT, PAT, and then a couple of labs along with them. Okay, so that is why the course is going to be 60 hours long at least. So this right here is the syllabus, and coming to the exam pattern. The exam is a computer-based test. You will have around 2 hours to complete your exam, and you have 2 types of questions. You have the basic multiple choice questions, and then you also have lab-based questions. If you think that you can, just memorize all the material and get all the MCQs right, leave the labs. No, that is not possible. You will definitely fail the exam then. You need to have, hands-on experience, and you need to complete those labs in order to pass the exam. All right. Uh, so like I said, the exam content is going to be covered by our course. And then along with this, I will be sharing some quizzes with you, which are going to replicate the exam. And after that, you should be good to go. Make sense, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
And one small question.
Mhm.
So what's the configuration of system we need
Great
for
question.
the lab
So
setup?
So even if you have, let's say, a 5th gen i3 or a 4th gen i3, your computer can still easily run all the labs. The major labs, the heavy labs, you can take them up through the tool called EVNG, which is browser based, right? So it's not going to use any of your processor cores or your memory because it is going to be run through our servers, right? So you just connect to that
Okay.
website, and then you get then you can easily work on the lab. For the local labs that you're going to perform on your machine, Packet Tracer is a very simple and a light tool. So even if you have a 10-year-old laptop or a 10-year-old machine, you should be easily be able to run the labs.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Okay. Packet Tracer also has a mobile-based version. So if anyone has an iPad or if anyone has a tablet, you can run your labs there as well. But I would not recommend that because then you need a mouse and a keyboard. So I would not recommend that at all. Okay. So coming to what you get with the course, I've already talked about this, when you guys asked me these questions. So you're going to get all my notes. You're going to get all the video recordings the next day, Packet Tracer Labs, which I just shared with you. So this is known as the racks from Network Kings. These are the Eve NG state-of-the-art labs that we built in-house, and we will be sharing them with you. And then obviously you will get quizzes so that you are well prepared for the exam. And we just don't stop at the exam. We want to make sure that you are job ready. So there will be interview preparation sessions as well at the end. So this is what you are going to get with the course. Now I have plenty of
The lab
time.
access will be 24/7, or how many days it will be available for us?
Sir,
So you get lab access for around 4 to 5 months. So till you complete your course, and after that you will still have it for 2 to 3 more months so that you can practice everything. Because we want to make sure that our labs are available to everyone, right? So when I say everyone, when your batch will end, a new batch will start. So we want to make sure that they also have those labs available to them. So for around 6 months, those labs will be available to you. They are available 24/7, so you can run them at any point of time. If there is a maintenance going on, you will get an